The new season of Fortnite is out and everyone needs the best new settings that you can have for this season. Now, I'm going to be going through all the keyboard and mouse settings that I use, as well as the graphic settings that I use to make my game look and feel just how it does. Right before we jump into the video, if you guys could use my creator code SR3 in the Fortnite item shop, that would help me a ton. The new season is out. Make sure you get the battle pass, whatever you want. Use my code, support your boy. I'd appreciate it a lot. Thank you. So starting off with the video settings. Now, I play in full screen on my native resolution. You guys should be doing the same. It should say full screen and then 1920 by 1080 if that's your monitor's native. And then as well as I'm playing on my monitor's refresh rate, which is 360, or should be whatever your refresh rate is, 240, 144, 180. Just put it at what your refresh rate is and your game should run smoothly. Now, I am playing on performance mode because that is the most optimal mode to play it on for Fortnite in general. Gives you the lowest possible input delay, just the best possible everything you can ask for. On performance mode, FPS, input, like, it's amazing. And then for the graphics, my brightness is just 100. I haven't really messed with it. I don't use any colorblind mode. And then my 3D res is at 100. It says 0 because it's like just bugged, but it is at 100. As you guys saw my game, it doesn't look like it's at 0. And then for everything else, it's off and then low as possible. And then some people don't know this, but you can actually turn your FPS off and you will see about a 20 to 30 FPS increase. If you want that 20 to 30 extra FPS, turn it off. You don't have to, but that is there if you want it. Now for the audio tab, everyone's audio is different. I'll just kind of skim through mine real quick. You know, I have these set up to ranges that I think work well for me. Then 3D headphones off. I do use visualized sound effects. It's very important in the game, I think, but you don't have to use it if you don't want to. Now voice chat mode, this is kind of just, you know, set up your voice chat however you want. We're not going to go through it. I don't use voice chat. I don't use game chat. It don't matter. For the matchmaking region, set it to whatever region you want to play. I'm 0 on NA East. And then Central, I play competitive, but right now I'm on East because Central Creative is kind of funky. And then for movement, I have everything like on, hold, jump, and press jump. Auto open doors is great. If you mess up an edit and, you know, you make a door, you kind of can still just run through the door. Not a single problem. And I've just always used the mantle and hurdle on hold, jump, and press jump. I don't know if it matters which one you use, but that's just what I prefer to use. For combat, I think hold to swap pickup is super important. It makes it so if you don't have a full inventory, you can swap out any weapon if you just hold down your pickup bind. For me, I just hold down T and it'll swap my shotgun for maybe a different shotgun that I want, or maybe an AR, minis, whatever I might want. Auto pickup weapons, I do recommend using this if you are playing competitive because it helps you win a ton of 50-50s. You will not lose off spawn nearly as much, but it does take some getting used to, so don't use it if you're not comfortable with it. I do use preferred item slots, but it's just my shotgun in my first slot. I don't use anything else in it. For building, I do use reset building choice and turbo building. If you're not, kind of, you know, get with the program. Editing, I don't use simple edit. I use my pre-edits, and then I use edit on release, which is pretty common, I feel like, for keyboard and mouse. That's just what I've noticed, but I do think edit on release is the best. If you don't know, Peterbot himself has said it. If you're not on edit on release, you're just going to fall behind in the game. Tutorial, I have it off. Now, if you guys do want some extra performance, you guys can turn all of your replays off. I don't do that because I have a decent PC, so I want to be able to like VOD review and stuff like that. But if you do want a little bit of extra performance, just go ahead and turn your replays off. And then energy saving down here, make sure every single thing here is on never, off, and off. You don't want any of those on. It'll heavily impact your performance on PC. Now, for my HUD, not really too crazy here. You know, you guys can copy the settings if you want to. Some people like seeing my HUD settings. They're like, you know, they always ask me what I'm using. I'm using damage numbers on cumulative and then hit only. And then these are my number scales and my HUD scales, 69%, and my damage numbers is 80. Pretty normal. If you do want to also see, you know, another 20 to 30 FPS increase, you guys can turn off your ping. So turn off that latency and just switch it over to off. If you want it, you don't have to do that, but it is an option to get that extra performance. Gyro settings, this is some controller gimmick setting that we don't care about at all as a keyboard player. Now, I did recently change my sensitivity back to 3.6, 3.6. Now, this is 3.6, 3.6 on 1600 DPI. I'm using the Final Mouse Competition ULX. It is like a 30-gram mouse. It feels great for me, and it's small in my hand. I know a lot of people ask what kind of mouse I use, and I normally just haven't said it, but that is the mouse I'm using, and it fits great for me. Obviously, you know, find a mouse that works well for you. You don't have to get the one I get. I don't even know if it's possible to get the one I have, but this is my sense on 1600 DPI, and then I use a 50-50 targeting, and my building and edit is, I used to have it increased, but I have it the same as my X and Y now because I noticed my aim was off a bit when I was doing it the other way. Now, to kind of save yourself a little bit of input delay, turn both of these options on, ignore controller input and lock input method, because if you turn these on, it'll make sure that it never ever picks a controller up, giving you the best possible connection for keyboard and mouse, which is absolutely amazing. And recently I did turn off custom diagonals and double movement. I find it really enjoyable. I can set up peaks a lot better. My angles are a lot better. Give it a try. You know, give it a try. I don't use it no more, you know, so give it a try. Just see how you like it. Everything else I kind of, you know, is just on default. I haven't messed with it. Now for my building binds now. Nothing too crazy here. I feel like my binds are pretty basic. You know, my crouch is C. My sprint is on caps lock. My jump is spacebar. My pickaxe is actually on Q. And then for my weapon slots, I use 1 through 5. My pickup bind is scroll wheel up. So I'll just scroll up on my mouse. Or it's T. Now I do have weapon canting, which is just, you know, if you're scoped in on a gun, you can unscope your gun with left control. I have that on. I like it a lot personally. I use C to crouch while I'm building, and my wall is set to my bottom mouse button. My floor is on F, my stairs are on my top mouse button, and then my roof is on shift, which is honestly, I think these are some of the most optimal binds I could get. My trap is on X, but there's really not that many traps in the game. Now, I do edit with E, and I use scroll reset. If you guys don't know how to set up scroll reset, just click over to this little tab right here, click it. You'll bind it to scroll wheel down, then you'll come over to reset building edit, click it, and bind it to scroll wheel down, and that's super simple. Bam, you have scroll reset. But yeah, those are my binds. Pretty simple, pretty standard, pretty basic. I think they're really good. I think it works great for you. These are my controller settings. I know I don't play controller, but I used to. I'll just kind of go through them real quick for you guys. I am on advanced options. So I use a 1.6 build and edit with a 50-60 horizontal and vertical. This is kind of like REIT sense if you guys have ever looked at REITs, and then a 13-13 for the ADS. I honestly find this amazing. I still do play controller sometimes. And I play exponential settings with aim assist at 100%, of course, with a 5.5 dead zone. The dead zone is pretty low. I recommend 10, but if you have a controller that can do it, 5.5 is an absolutely amazing dead zone, so go ahead and give that a try. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching the video. I hope these settings help you a ton on getting that first win of the season. You know, this is an amazing season so far. I was scared about the Star Wars weapons and everything, but I've honestly grown to like enjoy these Star Wars guns a lot. I don't know why, but it's really cool, to be honest with you. But I will see you guys in the next video. We're gonna be back uploading a lot more here, and I appreciate you guys for watching. I love you all. Peace. Yup. I feel like I run faster. Maybe I'm tripping. Why are you running?